Hey guys, it's the Conic, and in this one I'm going to be going over all the progress that was made on day 2, from upgrades I already got to upgrades I plan to get, and also we're going to be talking a bit about some of the things I've been considering doing with what could turn out to be an absolutely busted unique. So without further ado, let's get started. So going into day 3, like I said on yesterday's video, one of my first priorities was getting my 3rd ascendancy. Now, once I got this 3rd ascendancy, it meant that I needed to have a martial weapon as my main hand so I could actually give them attack damage instead. So that meant dropping my buckler for what I went for, a rare mace, which honestly has been performing really well. But it has since come to my attention that there is a unique mace called Tyrannus Grip, which is a spear, rather, an iron-head spear. And this spear it looks rather lackluster. It barely has fizz. It's a very we don't talk about this spear, it's kind of trash. However, it can be upgraded with rune forging twice using this recipe. I don't know if the second upgrade costs more, but effectively each upgrade gives it more physical damage, to the point where on a fully upgraded Tyrannus Grip you're looking at modifiers really high, like as high as 349 to 471, which for context is significantly higher base damage than my mace. So it is very likely that is an upgrade I will be making today, just so I can give my minions a lot more base fizz. It's going to be very strong of an upgrade. The one thing that I will say about my mace setup that I really like is I have been using Sunder as a way to generate rage, because I ended up on this side of the tree, and because I can use Sunder to generate rage, I'm able to give my minions 5 rage a second if they are in my presence AoE. But not only that, Sunder inherently inflicts a 20% additional increased fizz damage taken on the enemies if you hit a fully armor broken enemy. So we are also running Sniper's Mark with Mark for Death to speed up that armor break process that the bear was already doing. I'm also going to be testing out using loyalty on the bear. Any clip you're seeing in this video does not have loyalty. It still has rapid attacks 2 in this spot, but I kind of want to try it just to see and go from there, essentially. If you haven't already, do consider liking and subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. Aside the ward protector, the loyalty changes, I'm also currently using a Malice Scepter. This is not necessarily because I think Malice is inherently insane. I just happen to drop a +3 Malice magic base, and I just crafted it up to what we see now. So that is the only reason I'm using this scepter, because I didn't have to pay for it, essentially. I will be changing this scepter to what will likely be either a Sylvan's effigy or a better rare. Now here's the thought process as to the unique item I mentioned earlier on in the video. So with Sylvan's effigy, I'm able to use multiple companions, and this effectively will be a very healthy damage source, having all these different minions. However, if you don't go the Sylvan's effigy route, that means you're locked to 2. And I've always had a problem with the idea of Silver Fist, where he just doesn't clear that fast, so you're going to have to deal with a slower clear speed. The Wasp in my case ends up hard carrying a lot of clear speed because he actually has good base damage, is very fast, and uses minion splash 2 to do some AoE as well. And with all the AoE scaling we have, it ends up being a pretty healthy overlap. Now what I am considering is I plan on getting to level 84 because this unique requires level 84, but I didn't know GGG introduced this one insane unique called Forgotten Warden, and I think this is going to change how I build my defenses in the end game as well. But this unique is absolutely cracked. Now you might be wondering what is so insane about it. It's a chest piece. It has damage transfer on deflected hits, so it really wants you to deflect with this chest piece. It also gives you deflected per 50 missing ES, which is kind of fine, but it's whatever. The real bread and butter of this chest piece is the skill Spirit Vessel. It is a companion without reservation, mind you, a free companion that gives you the ability to run any shape-shifting skill on a minion. So basically the skill gives you a minion that can use any socketed shape-shifting ability you use, the minion stats. And now this is a companion, so it scales all of our companion modifiers. This effectively means that even on this setup where you only have 2 companions, we can rely on the spirit vessel for all our AoE clear, because there's some really nice shape-shifting abilities. And not only that, because these skills would be taking support gems, you would think that, oh, that means it's not going to do that much damage, so aside clear, it's not going to have much damage. But no, every skill you socket is going to give it 20% more damage. So once you use skills like Lunar Blessing or Lunar Assault, all these different skills, it is effectively gaining damage equivalent to it's a weaker support gem, essentially, despite it being its own skill. So this is going to be very good for clear. I'm thinking of running it alongside Lunar Assault for freeze. It's going to be a very good source of freeze, as well as maybe Lunar Blessing. That'd be really good for wave clear. If Lunar Blessing is a bit so-so on the uptime, then I might go for something like Stampede. I think there are ways I can give it endurance charges. We'll have to see how that goes, essentially. But this is what I'm thinking. If the spirit vessel works like I think it will, it is going to be an insane second companion, and it's going to solve all the AoE that I need for a 2 companion setup, and that allows me to get a stronger Silver Fist, because Sylvan's effigy is lower damage for Silver Fist, but more damage across multiple companions. But because it's missing the key stats like level of all minions, blood damage, spirit is less, it's not as needed, but because it's missing all these different stats, it effectively becomes a bit harder to justify if you can't really shove in as many minions as you can. So with the spirit vessel, it is just going to be entirely likely that Silver Fist will make Silver Fist as big as we can, and the spirit vessel as well, and where we have clear solved, that we have everything we need in the build from just those 2 minions. So I'm really looking forward to getting to level 84, because the chest which requires to level 84, and giving the spirit vessel a try, but won't be able to do that until level 84. So by the time you're watching this, I'll be playing the game on stream, so it's very likely that I would have leveled up a few times. Maybe I'm 84, maybe I'm not. Maybe I try to get it by the end of the stream. We'll have to see. But yeah, that unit is absolutely insane, and I'm very interested in what that looks like on even non-spiritwalker builds, because there's every possibility that having a minion where you can control its abilities is just insane. I can see this unique being used by Infernalists, by Lich, maybe Varashta. If you're spicy enough, Oracle, because Oracle does have some companion nodes at the top left. There's some really good choices when it comes to have this unique and what it implies. So I will be taking a look at it and probably making a build if it performs well after this companion spirit walker build, essentially. Now, just like yesterday, I am going to also be going over or hovering on my gear in case you're curious as to what I'm currently equipped with. I spent some time upgrading a lot of these, so actually I'm capped res now. I'm not capped on chaos res, and I still haven't replaced my glove and my belt. These 2 are still campaign pieces, but everything else I either bought or I dropped. My rings I both dropped. I honestly need to get better rings, a lot better rings. But my scepter I dropped as well. My helmet I bought. But yeah, that kind of covers my gear section. And then for my tree, like I showed earlier, I am now in the Warlord Berserker region. I'm currently getting armor evasion here to kind of round out my defenses, as well as I get more and more flat defenses. I'm currently in T11 maps, T12, and I kind of showed in my progression in that I didn't realize I could just use Overseer Tablet to speed run the progression. So I was kind of slowly making my way up, pathing to powerful bosses, and then using them and hoping that Hilda would proc and make a powerful boss free, stuff like that, when I could just have been forcing my way up with the Overseer Tablet. But now I know, and I am going to working my way up to T15 maps so I can do the King in the Mist fight. I'm going to be doing that on stream today. I will say, now that I'm in red maps, my defenses are being tested a lot more. So I'm going to have to replace this glove very soon, very, very soon. And this belt doesn't cut it anymore. I'm going to have to replace both of them. So that's going to be next on the agenda. One thing I will say is don't sleep on getting triple elemental resistances and then using the void flux to get triple chaos res items, because that is probably a very chill way to cap your chaos res, and it's probably what I would do with my belt or glove slots. And like I said, I'm still weighing my option between Sylvan's effigy and a red scepter just because of the difference in playstyle and price point and all these other things. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted with a build update tomorrow where I would have made the decision and I would have bought an upgrade of the required type. Now, do keep in mind, for my current path in progression, I have a lot of different attributes, like a lot of attributes coming from different pieces of gear, as well as different sockets. I have a lot, and also a lot of travel nodes. So there's a lot of attributes because I have a lot of different requirements for different skills. I have high strength requirement for the mace, which if I replace it with this spear, I shouldn't need nearly as much strength, so I can then start cutting down some strength. A lot of dex from the fact that Tame Beast is a dex skill, and int coming from scepter being an int base, so you're going to need to have int to use a scepter properly. So just keep in mind, this is a very attribute hungry build in general. But yeah, that about covers everything I wanted to go over. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. The build has been fantastic, performing really well. I'm looking forward to actually getting more defense as I push up, because I am trying to feel the red map pressure. And if you haven't already, don't consider liking and subscribing, as it helps the video out a lot. And with all that said, thank you for watching.